And here now on Eurosport as we take a look at the sport of tractor pulling. The action comes from Walibi Flevo and it's a round of the European series. From the newest entertainment park in Europe, all the action and drama of this remarkable sport. Well, let's get the action underway then. First competitor that we're going to take a look at is the machine known as the Fox from Denmark. It's got 6 alcohol-run Chevy racing engines on it, and look at this thing go as it tries to pull this big, heavy sled behind it and see how far it can get up the track. Well, that's a first demonstration, and that was a full pull. That means he's covered the whole course that's been set to them and managed to take that sled all the way. Now that device at the back there is the sled that has a sliding weight on it. Now as they accelerate up the strip, that weight moves further and further forward. It obviously digs those sort of spade-like things on the front of the sled further and further into the dirt, and that of course makes it more and more difficult for it to pull it along. So as he accelerates away now, you'll see that weight on the sled moving further and further forward. Sometimes you can see it, the power from those 6 engines trying to fight against it, and that is what it's all about. There's no limit on the amount of power that you can produce from these machines. It's all about horsepower and all about trying to get to the end of the course. So that's the first demonstration, and Peter Larson telling us a bit about it.
People in the team here, and we have been pulling since '86. On that time we started in Denmark with a standard tractor, and since we build up year after year a stronger tractor to try to compete the European top in tractor pulling.
On to our second competitor then. This is Brian Armstead from the UK, driving the outfit known as Desperate Dan. Let's see what happens with him. Well, Brian turning the dust up, churning it all up, trying to get up to the end of the course, and that looks pretty good to me. That's another full pull. He's taken it all the way up to the end, and that's exactly what he needs to try and get through to the final. Superb stuff in the machine that came over from America, and with which Brian won the European title last year. Let's take a look in slow motion. You can see the rear wheels spinning as they try and get some sort of purchase on this dirt, and you can see the amount of difficulty that comes as they go further and further up the strip as the weight becomes heavier and heavier and digs those blades into that dirt. But nevertheless, Brian Armstead making it look very easy indeed, and soon getting through to the end of the run. Well, this is Snoopy, another one from the UK. This is Kevin Whittingham driving this, and it's got 2 Rolls-Royce Griffon engines taken out of a Shackleton bomber from World War II. Around about 5,000 horsepower, that's all, in his attempt to try and also get it right up to the end of the course. You can hear the power as he tries to accelerate up the course. Fabulous stuff from Snoopy. And can he take it all the way? Well, he's getting a little bit wide, almost out of the course there, but I think he's going to just do it. And yes, he does. Absolutely superb stuff. Kevin Whittingham manages also to make it to the end of the course, a full pull for Snoopy. And those 2 Rolls-Royce Griffon engines sounding absolutely wonderful. Well, the process of decoupling. And then off he goes, ready to take part in the final in the not-too-distant future. This is Eugene Kimela from Siefertshofen in Germany with the machine known as Museum's Killer. Well, all the way to the end. Once again, a full pull for Eugene Kimela. And superb stuff. And once again, you could just see the amount of power that these things produce. That's got 5 Arias V8 drag race engines on it. And, well, they certainly did help him get to the end. This, again, was another American machine originally. The sport, very, very big in the United States. And a lot of the machinery that's used in European tractor pulling has come over from the United States. Well, this is Eugene himself telling us a little bit about his background and how he's been doing tractor pulling for a little while now, a couple of years, doing some in Germany, and just talking a little bit about trying to get the balance right on the machinery as well. Well, this is the next entrant. This is Q8 Popeye, as it's known, from Holland. And this has got 3 alcohol-powered aeroplane engines from a P-51 Hunter, also out of World War II. Driver of this one is Jan van Alphen. And there you get a chance to see the heavy coupling equipment that connects him up with the sled as he tears away up the strip. Let's see what Q8 Popeye can do. Thundering away, to the delight of the crowd. And is he going to make it all the way? Yes, I think he has. Yes, he gets it all the way to make it a full pull. Well, there's a good view of that weight sliding back again. That weight slides forwards, remember, to make those blades cut deeper into the dirt. And that's what makes it harder and harder as the tractor gets up towards the end of the strip. Now the driver is controlling all this with the hand-controlled throttle, which you'll see them open wide open when they start off the run. And then basically once the front wheels come in the air, the steering isn't a lot of use, so they're steering it with the brakes on the rear wheels. Just in ordinary tractors, they're balancing the braking on each of those rear wheels to try and keep the thing steering. So here goes Q8 Popeye. He accelerates away, puts all that power down to the ground. Now as the front starts to come up, he's steering it really with his feet on the brake pedals, a brake for either side, either rear tyre, and in that way he's able to keep it virtually straight. But that is quite a skillful piece of work. Once the front wheels are off the ground, it's all being steered on the individual brakes on the rear wheels. Well, the crowd loving all this, and certainly very dramatic action to be right beside these thousands of horsepower monsters. The noise and the vibration, absolutely breathtaking, and the crowd lapping up every minute of it. Right, for the final then, we're going to add a little bit more weight to the sled, and fairly heavy addition going on to that sliding portion of the sled. And this basically is now to decide and see which of those super tractors is going to win this section of the event. This is going to be too heavy for them to pull to all the way, so it's a question now of who can get the furthest. So the Peterson brothers getting their machine ready. They start each of these 6 engines individually to get the thing running, and it's amazing how these Chevy V8 engines seem to be found in almost every branch of motorsport, but to see 6 of them on one device really defies belief. But there you are, there they are, and this is the Larson's brothers machine getting ready in this final to try and take that new heavy sled as far as possible up the strip. So the crowd eagerly awaiting this run. Connections go on, and we get ready for this first run in the final. The Fox, can it take it all the way to the end? How far will it go? Will it be the winner at the end of all this? 6 Chevy engines to help it. Off he goes, full throttle applied. Now, can he keep it straight, and can he keep it going? Remember, that sled's getting heavier and heavier and heavier as he cuts his way up. Well, a superb run there for the Dane, and 93.95 meters recorded. An excellent way to start off this final, and a superb performance from the Larson brothers on this absolutely incredible machine. Well, the track is refettled after every run to make it fair for every competitor, and we get ready now for Brian Armstead to have his run. Nicknamed Mr. Pete from the UK, and Brian has to try and get past the point at which the Larson brothers machine stopped if he's going to take victory here. So 93.95 meters, the distance to try and beat. Remember, he's got 5 engines on this one, and it's all about power and weight balance as well. Try to put that power down through those massive rear tyres. Try and take that very, very heavy sled as far as possible up the track. Here we go then. Brian's getting ready. Desperate Dan is the machine. Let's see how far it gets this time. Full throttle applied. He's lost the steering through the front wheel, so now he's steering it on the brakes, and he's trying to keep it in a straight line. It's hard work. Can he get it any further than the Danish machine? Well, he has. He's got it to 98.61 meters. So 5 meters, nearly 5 meters further than the Fox. And so Brian Armstead takes the lead in this final runoff. Great stuff there from former European title winner. And the sled is driven back. You see how it has its own propulsion to take it back to the starting off point. Let's just take a look at that in slow motion again. Just look at the wheel spin through those rear wheels. Brian keeping control, front wheels lifting. Then remember, he's using the brakes to steer it. Just trying to judge it finally. And the sled being hauled along at pretty high speed. Pity the poor chap up in the back of the sled there who has to sit up there and enjoy the ride, and then is in charge of driving it back down to the starting off point again. On to the Q8 Popeye then, and can Jan van Alphen go any further than Brian Armstead? He's certainly trying. Those 3 aero engines giving it their absolute maximum, but it's not quite enough in this case. 95.73 meters, and just look at the heat haze coming off those motors. Huge exhaust stacks and air filters on those machines, on those engines. Just incredible. It's all engine rather than having much chassis. So in fact, the winner, it is a desperate Dan. It's Brian Armstead, who with that run that he gave us of 98.61 meters has taken the victory in this opening class of the tractor pulling competition. The 4.4 ton modified class is won by Brian Armstead, and there you can see the final results. Jan van Alphen in second, Peter Larsen in third, Eugene Camila in fourth, and Snoopy and Kevin Whittingham taking 5th position in the end. Well, that's the end of the 4.4 modified class, but we're going to have some more action in just a moment. Stay with us here. And we're going to switch to another class now, which is the 3.4 ton super stock class. In this class, the performance of a stock tractor is multiplied by about 10 times, but they do look a little bit more normal. And this Deer Hunter has 4 turbos and is being driven by Wim Janssen. Well, a good first run from Wim Janssen there, 88.87 meters. These machines producing around about 1500 horsepower, so some way down on the modifieds we saw earlier, but still very, very powerful machines indeed. And as I say, looking a little bit more like the tractors that you and I might think of. Next one up is this Ford Hurricane, and that's from Holland. It's Erik Meyer. Backs up to the sled so they can connect everything up, and gets ready to see whether he can improve on that performance of Wim Jansen in the Deer Hunter. Okay, ready to go. Watch the throttle hand on this side and wait to go to full power. Off he goes. Front wheels up in the air again controlling it on the brake, trying to keep the whole thing straight. Now, can he get the distance? Can he get that a little bit further than Wim Jansen managed? He comes to a stop. And, well, did he go any further or not? Well, it was 82.73 meters, and that's just around about 6 meters short of Wim Jansen's attempt. So, no, Erik Meyer doesn't quite do it. On to our third competitor in this class. It's Bits and Pieces, being driven by Leonard Griffioen. This is a unique tractor in Europe. It's got a 100% alcohol-powered machine, which provides about 2,500 horsepower to the rear wheels. Well, Len is European champion. Let's see how he goes. Where he gets all that horsepower down to those rear wheels, tries to keep it all together. Front wheels well up in the air, but he's got it all under control. Now, just how far can he get it? A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, it comes to a stop, but that was a good run. He certainly has come a long way up the strip. And yes, 93.08 meters the distance. So that puts him into the lead of the battle so far in the 3.4 ton Superstock class. Let's take another look in slow motion once more. You can see the weights on the front of the tractor there to try and counterbalance that effect of the wheelie. And that's part of the technique for Leonard Griffioen, trying to not let the wheelie get too much out of control, try and just get the forward pulling power as that sled gets heavier and heavier and cuts those blades deeper and deeper into the dirt. This is Peter Clark from the UK on JBJ Express. Peter tuned and built this tractor himself using 4 turbos, and with this setup he's got a very, very competitive machine indeed. So the distance to beat, 93.08 of Leonard Griffioen. Can he beat that on JBJ Express? Peter Clark just waiting for the final track repairing tractors to move out of the way and ready for the off. Here he goes, Peter Clark, full power. Now then, can he take it all the way up to the end? It's going well. Keep it under control, Peter. Keep it going, keep it moving. Oh, and he's come to a stop. No, that doesn't look too good. Doesn't look quite as long as the run for Leonard Griffioen. No, indeed, it's not. 85.14 meters, so not quite far enough to beat Leonard Griffioen there. So 1 or 2 more still to go in this class, and Griffioen still could be beaten. Here's the next man to try, Pekka Hurlevi from Finland on Caesar. This a very interesting looking device. Let's see whether it works as well as its dramatic looks may suggest. The track has been cleared once again, back to the same spec. Always a nice smooth getaway here, not too brutal. trying to then keep it all going. Now then, is he going to go any further? Engine's pumping away the horsepower. It's going, no, it's come to a stop now. And, well, no, it's not going to be far enough. That's 88.18 meters, and still not good enough. There, a good view of the sled and the driver, who will now bring it back down to the other end, where it will be set up for the next competitor to have a go. Well, Leonard Griffin, the winner then on bits and pieces, 93.08 meters, and a big advantage, in fact, for him at the end of the competition. Well, now on to something even more different. This is the mini pullers class, the smallest tractors that compete in the tractor pulling competition. They only weigh around about 900 kilos, and that includes the driver as well. And the first man we're watching here is the Norwegian, Carl Safus Engen. Let's see what happens to him. A smaller sled, you'll see. So he hasn't got quite so much weight to pull, which isn't surprising for a little 900 kilo machine like this. And, well, that's a good run. It's a full pull. He's got it all the way to the end. And he's delighted with that. Still very serious machines, these, using that V8 Chevy power. This is a Keith Black tuned engine, and that's providing him with an excellent first performance. Amazing little machines, absolutely tiny. Look how it's dwarfed by the rear wheel of a standard tractor there.
We have to run first, I think. It's many people, many pullers is going to win. So we have to wait and see, I think.
Well, that was the man himself, getting ready and waiting for the competitors to come along and see what they can do in this class. Now, this is something altogether even more different. We've got the Landy. This device is known. It's got a turbo turbine from a train, in fact. This is. It has 1600 horsepower, and it sounds very different to the machinery we've heard so far. Well, Dirk Feenstra on Landy, not getting to such a long run there, but certainly an interesting device, totally different, and well, I think in a way a little bit lacking the drama of the big V8 and multi-V8 powered cars with the rumble that they make, but nevertheless a very interesting device and a good effort from Dirk Feenstra. 78.45 meters, only good enough for 12th place, but great to see the ingenuity that goes into building these machines. Now then, here's somebody to be reckoned with. This is the Ghostbuster machine with Helmut Schwarz from Germany at the wheel. He's a European champion, and let's see what happens here as he tears away up the strip. Can he get a full pull as well? Try and match the performance of Carl Safus Engen. It looks good. It does look good, and indeed, yes, he's made it all the way. So a full pull from Helmut Schwarz, and an excellent run for him. Once again, you can see that heat days coming up, and that engine, in fact, in that particular device is from a Centurion tank. Remarkable machine, and remarkable what sort of power that tank engine produces, and just what it's used for now. There he goes, a replay of Helmut Schwarz tearing his way up the track and recording a full pull all the way to the end of the track. You have to feel more sorry for the guy driving the sled this time around. He hasn't even got a little canopy in front of him, so all the mud and dust getting thrown straight back into his face. Well, on to the next competitor then, and this is Joker with 1500 horsepower, and this is another machine that's come in from the United States and has been successfully campaigned over there and then brought over to Europe. Thomas Zimmermann, the driver from Germany. And let's see whether he can also make it a full pull and put himself into the final. Just look at that tiny steering wheel that he uses to control this fearsome beast. Well, that's another good run. He's taken it all the way to the end. Yes, another full pull. He gets himself through to the final. So well done, Thomas Zimmermann. He joins Ghostbuster and Mini Breaker as the members to go through to the final. But we've still got one or two more to try out. Let's see if they can also make it all the way through. This is Frank Verboven from Calm in Holland. Now then, what can he do here on Stubborn Sister? Well, it's not looking too stubborn, looking very strong indeed, in fact. And yes, he's got it all the way through to record a full pull as well. So we've got several of them now in the runoff in the final. And that sets up a good competition. So first to go this time in the final on Ghostbuster is Helmut Schwartz. That's Centurion tank engine burbling away and getting ready for this first run. Now remember, they'll have added more weight to the sled now, so it's unlikely that we're going to be able to see anybody getting right to the end. It's a question of how far can he go. So the first run, he's got to set the standard here for the others to try and beat, and off he goes up the track. How far is he going to get? Oh, he looks like he's going to stop. That's as far as he's going to get, that's for sure. And, well, it's a good start. That's a good way to set the standard. 84.58 meters for Helmut Schwartz. Let's take another look at Helmut at work. Tiny little front wheels on this machine, using those brakes just like the bigger tractors to keep the thing balanced, and just being overcome by that additional weight on the sled, digging that blade into the dirt. On to the second runner in the final then. This is Joker once again. So Thomas Zimmermann ready to go, ready to pull that sled along. Sled is known as No Mercy. They all have names, all these bits of equipment. It's all part of the fun of the show. So Joker trying to take No Mercy to the end of the run and to see if it can beat that 84.58 meters just recorded. And well, that's a great run. He's passed the flag that signified where Schwartz finished, and yeah, look at that, 92.63 meters. That's an excellent position, almost 6 meters ahead. Great run from Thomas Zimmermann. Well, that's going to take some beating. That really was very good run. He kept it all straight, all together, didn't waste any time by veering off course at all. So that really is going to take some beating. Well, the Norwegian is the man who's coming up to have a go at it. It's Carl Safus-Engen on Mini Breaker. Man we had a word with earlier. Now then, can he possibly go further than 92.63 meters? That's the target. Let's see what happens. Here he goes, full power, blasting up the strip here. Now, can he keep it all straight, not waste any time by going from side to side? He's going well, and he's going up towards the flag that marks the previous point. And yes, that is an excellent run indeed. And 95.58 meters, that does indeed put him further ahead. And that's an excellent performance from Carl Safus-Engen. He's pleased with that, no doubt. Very, very good indeed. And in fact, enough to give Carl Saffersengen victory in this class. Great performance from the Norwegian, and as his machine is towed away, you really do get an idea of just how small these mini breakers are. So onto the podium then, Carl Saffersengen taking his position in the middle on the highest one as the winner, 95.58 meters. Thomas Zimmermann second, and Helmut Schwartz third with 84.58 meters. The crowd thoroughly enjoying the action brought by this mini pullers class, and really amazing little machines that provide plenty of entertainment. So the delighted winners now head off for the lap of honour. Now, being tractor pulling, it's no ordinary lap of honour that they can enjoy. They have a special machine here for their lap of honour, and it happens to be a radio-controlled machine. It's a radio-controlled mini truck. So they're being invited to climb aboard. It looks like Carl Saffersengen has actually declined that. Where's he gone? He's disappeared. Now he's coming back. Or is he? No, he isn't. And they're off. So, oh, there he is. He's decided to come back and take his rightful position at the head of the line of seats there. And somewhere around about is a chap with a transmitter machine. See if you can spot him, who's driving that thing and taking them for their lap of honour. Well, the crowd certainly enjoying themselves, and it all makes up part of the show of this tractor pulling. Aha, there he is, the man with the aerial in his hand, who's driving them round. The man they have to be as nice to as possible. So there you are, they're the final results. Carl Saffersengen, as we said, the winner there, 95.58. And Thomas Zimmermann and Helmut Schwartz, second and third. So now everything getting ready for the newest class in this form of motorsport, which is the two-wheel drive car class. With the appearance of a car body, this class is good fun for the crowd to watch. And this first competitor is Gerard Frank with Heartbeat. It's a Chevy pickup truck, and here it goes, ready to try and take the honours so far. Look at this thing go, really getting the power down, front wheels way up in the air. And let's see if he can make it all the way to the end of the track. Oh, he's close, but not quite there. 98.44 meters. A good run, nevertheless, for Gerard Frank and Heartbeat. Well, these machines, as I say, fairly new onto the scene of tractor pulling, and to again provide a little bit more variety and a bit of a connection with normal cars as well. This is the man that we saw earlier on that strange quad with the helicopter engine. This is Michael Coy with Miss Liberty. Rather splendid funny car dragster body being dropped down onto the chassis, and this promises to be a good run from the very experienced Michael Coy with this fabulous machine, Miss Liberty. Uses a Chrysler engine, the 426 Hemi, and there it is, sitting proud and ready to deliver its hundreds and hundreds of horsepower down through those rear wheels. Off he goes, trying to keep the thing balanced, trying not to let the front come up too high. but keeping it moving while the sled gets heavier and heavier and cuts that blade in, and he comes to a stop. Oh, well, a good run. That was 90.55 meters. Well, not quite big enough a distance to beat Gerard Frank, who, remember, did 98.44 meters, so some 8 meters short, nearly 8 meters short, but nevertheless, a good run from Michael Coy. So back to the paddock area for Miss Liberty, and we take a look at a Dodge pickup truck now. No ordinary Dodge pickup truck, but it sort of looks like a Dodge pickup truck. It's actually, this one comes from the Agricultural College from Dronton. Strange project, perhaps, for an agricultural college, but nevertheless a great deal of fun. I should imagine all the students get well into this. It's actually being driven by Roel Brookhausen, who is one of the professors at the college. So off we go, full throttle. Let's see whether all their hard work pays off. Oh, just catching the edge there, losing a bit of ground by not keeping it quite straight. That could have cost him a meter or two, and drops it down at the end there. That was 94.11 meters. So a good effort, but still not enough to beat Gerard Frank and Heartbeat. Takes up the slack. And here we go. Look at it go, bouncing away. It's leaping around the hatch. He's coming up above, but he's going, he's moving. Front comes flying into the air. Now how far is he going to go? It's still moving, it's still going, he's still going. This is a great run from Kees Hock. And yes, indeed, it's a full pull. He's taken it all the way to the end of the track. Superb stuff from this relatively inexperienced driver. He must be let's look at the way the thing was bouncing at the beginning there. The hatch above his head flies open, then it flies closed again. But eventually it all settles down, lays that power down, and just pulls the sled away at great speed. Takes up the slack. Ready to go. Full power, smooth getaway. He doesn't do it too violently, trying to keep the momentum going, trying to keep it going now. And can he take it all the way to the end? But Hoogordel, a good run. This is a good run, but no, he's not quite as far, I think. Not quite there, 98.63 meters. So there are the results then of the two-wheel drive class. Cloud 9 with Kees Hock at the wheel, the winner. Bert Hoogordel with Predator, the VW Beetle lookalike, in second place, and Gerard Frank with Heartbeat in third position. Well, that's the end of this particular event and this competition, but certainly there'll be more events through the year, with the European Championships coming up at this very same venue in the Netherlands on September the 10th and 11th. Both days will see action that we've seen today, starting on around 11 o'clock each day, and we'll be seeing some of that on Eurosport in the future. From Ben Edwards, see you again soon. Bye for now.